Hi, welcome. I am Chari Hinete Elon, and I'm your host for Life Expressions. It is good to be part of something big, especially if that organization is special and it endeavors to bring out the best in every member. And I'm happy to be part of JCI. It's called Junior Chamber International, wherein recently we have launched a project called Ambagko, rehistro.boto. To talk more about that, I have invited two spokespersons, or shall I say active members of JCI, who really believe in this program. Please allow me to introduce the Vice President for Internal and Local Skills Development Director of JCI Puerto Princesa Oil, Vonne Seiryne Magbanua. Hi, Vonne.
Hello everyone.
Hi, and of course, we also have the Director for Motivate of JCI Cebu Hara, Denise Chua. Hi, Denise.
Hello po.
Glad to meet the two of you. How are you? Vonne, kamusta?
Great naman po, excited for today.
Yeah, and how about you, Denise? Anong pinagkakaabalahan mo ngayon?
Ito po, nagre-record sa bahay kasi bawal mag-record sa studio
Yeah,
dahil pandemic.
yeah, because you're a voice talent, right?
Opo.
Yes. And what about you, Vonne? What do you do for a living?
I delve in digital marketing as well as social media management. Anything related to new media, web development, app development, software development, or just graphic arts, video, and photo editing. I'm the guy for that.
Wow,
Yan
very
po.
impressive. So, may I ask, Denise, how did you become a member of JCI?
At first, I'm a part of another group, Connected Women, which supports each woman. And then I saw a post na nag-invite sila for a certain project. It's called Project Better Me. Tapos sabi ko, ay, ang galing naman, all aspects na cover niya from self-development, how to invest, and ganun. Tapos sabi ko, there's a post na sinasabi yung pangalan ng organization. And then I didn't realize na a project pala siya ng JCI. But then I saw past it kasi talagang attract ako doon sa yung message nila. So after joining the project, I saw myself joining their opportunity to impact. So it all went down during the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah. And how is it so far? How do you like being a member of JCI?
Ano po, syempre po, ang saya-saya ko kasi unang-una, bawal lumabas. Tapos parang who would have thought na kahit bawal lumabas, na-shift yung perspective ko na there are other ways for you to connect to people, lalo na ngayon online. So, bago lahat to, I'm not saying na bago na hindi ako nag-online before, pero it's a new way of meeting people. We just have to be creative. Tsaka hindi naman ibig sabihin na, ay, shucks, pandemic na dead end to. So, I just saw that it's just a bend to
Mhm.
something better.
Wow, very well said. How about you, Vonne? How did you join JCI?
The funny thing about this was I was at a young age po pala, I was connected with the organization but I didn't know then kasi one of the past presidents of the local chapters here, which is JCI Puerto Princesa Peacock.
Yeah.
My auntie, PP, so past president Shobe Yu was a president of that. So at a young age, I was exposed to the organization, but I didn't know it was an organization. Para akala ko lang, or they're helping other people. Naalala ko, the organization is really amazing po. Kasi with all the projects that they've been doing. There was one time nga po na parang adopt a child. So parang maghanap sila ng recipient na sa community and they would adopt a child in the community for one day and they would take care of them, ilalabas nila, i-date nila, pakainin nila, tapos stay lang doon sa home nila. So ako yung inassign na tita, take care of this kid. Kala ko naman kamag-anak namin or something. But I didn't know then na pala, yung recipient pala yun, the project nila. Fast forward 2018, I was still not yet a member of JCI, but nasa Manila ako yun. Now that then chapter president po namin, which is past president Maki, PP Maki, Press Maki, invited me. So we knew each other before me joining the organization. And he invited me na, oh, may training dito. Tapos I didn't know it was a national program pala, national activity of, JCI. So it was mid-year 2018.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've learned po in life, one thing that I've learned from mentors,
Yeah.
coaches that I was surrounded with is, Bon, if you want to become the best in what you do, or if you want to be best in something, for example, you want to be the best, a great basketball player, a best pianist, or whatever, surround yourself with the right people, with the people in line with that. So, sa akin, I really enjoy learning. I really enjoy kasi whatever I'm learning right now, I can pass it to the next generation. Yun
Yeah.
yung magiging ambag ko nga sa susunod na generation, which is eventually my kids, eventually my grandkids. And
Uh,
wow! Buti na lang I said yes.
yes.
Kasi doon niya ako nilagay po there were three categories that time. It was mid-year. President's Academy, Future Leaders Academy, and third would be Trainers Academy. Hindi pa po
Yeah.
ako member nun.
Yeah.
Nasali ako doon. Tapos, wow, I was surrounded with so many amazing people. In the JCI journey pala po, dalawa lang yan. Lalo na pag naging presidente ka na, it's either
Yeah.
you go up to a higher position,
Mhm.
maging sa regional area or national position yan, or you go to the leadership training route. You train people to be
Yeah.
trainers and
Yeah.
to equip people.
Mhm.
And doon ako napunta. And most of those participants there in that academy, Traders Academy, were past president or they were part of big positions na. And what an opportunity, what a blessing to be directly and indirectly mentored by their words, their presence. What an amazing ano po. Then eventually po, I became, sabi ko sa sarili ko, I'm definitely gonna be part of this organization. That following year, yung sumunod na term po, yun,
Yeah.
I readily, can I be part of your organization? So,
That's
now
very good.
it's been 3 years since then po. So 2019, officially, I became a member po.
Yeah. So, how do you like being an active member or even an officer of JCI? How do you like being part of
Well,
JCI?
yes po. Well, JCI has given me opportunities, has empowered me to be more for others and to be better, not for just for myself, but for those around me in under my sphere of influence, which is that's my family, that's my siblings, and that's my friends and co-workmates. And yun nga, I'm reminded lang po dito of this quotation na be the changes you want to see in the world.
Mhm.
So, and in the same time, I'm reminded na if waiting for change doesn't happen, then start change yourself. At yun ang binigay ko sa akin ng JCI, ng local organization ko. What's amazing with this is you're not just taking this journey alone. You're not just doing this project alone. You're surrounded, you're taking this walking, running this marathon with like-minded people and like-hearted. Not just like-minded, they have the same passion, they have the same desire to really be better for others, for those around them, and just be more. So, ano lang nga po yung, ano yun, yung there's two things there's two greatest moments in your life.
Yeah.
Parang I'm just reminded of this right now.
Yeah.
One was the moment that you were born, and second
Yeah.
is the moment you realize why you were born. And definitely, parang yun nga, the Lord has allowed us to live for such a time like this.
Yeah.
What's happening right now, the pandemic. And going forward lang nga po, when I started JCI to now, well, we'll never know. The pandemic has reminded us that life is
Mhm.
finite. Anytime you can die, regardless
Correct.
kung hindi man yung pandemic, some other thing. So
Yes.
let's at least before the Lord takes me or before I go on, pass on to the next life, is at least I live the world a little bit better than the day that I found it. Just one person. At least I have impacted or I have blessed at least one life. So, yun nga
Yes.
pa,
Oh,
I'm
that's
reminded of,
beautiful.
I guess, yun nga po.
That is
Yes po,
beautiful.
yun,
Yes.
that,
That's good.
that's one thing, one of the many things that I'm grateful with the organization because it
Yeah.
gives me the opportunity to impact. Yun
Yeah.
po, impact
Wonderful.
life. At least
It is.
one or more, hopefully more. Yun po.
Definitely more with the way that you are, with the way you appreciate things around you and the people in JCI who are like minded and like hearted, as you have said, you are already impacting me just doing this interview with you. So, way to go. What about you, Denise? What do you like about being part of JCI Cebu, Hara?
For me, it's just like being proposed to, like you're being courted, like you're being pursued. Because when they started that project, so I got into their project. So that's
Mhm.
another our first yes. And then the second yes was when they got me into the opportunity to impact. Sabi ko, ano
Mhm.
ba tong opportunity to impact? Doon talaga ako nahawak sa word na to impact. So what does that mean? Kasi all the while, I was thinking of impacting others, puro others. But then just realized na I cannot give what I don't have.
Yeah.
So, tapos yung description doon about uh, parang before you say yes to something, ano ba yung mga ino-offer niya? What's in it
Mhm.
for me? Tapos ang nakita ko doon,
Mhm.
aside from helping others,
Mhm.
yung self-development
Yeah.
na nakita ko doon. Tapos I just realized when I talk to other members, they also, especially during this time, kasi ang
Yeah.
daming hindi makalabas, as they're stuck at home, we're looking for someone to talk to have a friend. So
Yeah.
yung friendship, yung camaraderie, but it's a good surrounding kasi we also have to consider who we surround ourselves with kasi
Yeah.
nakaka-affect na talaga siya sa how we think, how we feel. So I'm very glad na surrounded ako ng people who doesn't let pandemic stop them from being more for others.
Yeah.
Kasi parang we just have to be creative. Tapos parang feeling ko tong problem na to, it allows us to think in a different way, na
Yeah.
parang to use our talents in a different way, na parang sabi ko, so, there's pandemic, so what now?
Yeah.
So, how do we move forward from here and parang unleash yung, ano pa ba yung mga ways on how we can tap into each other. It changed the way we communicate. So first, I'm not really adept with Zoom, so I had to learn about those things. Tapos, I didn't just learn about myself. I just realized that no man is an island. I have to be with others. And yung surroundings ng JCI, parang sometimes you feel like, what will they think about my question? I'm new. I don't know a lot of these things. But then, yung culture,
Yeah.
the thing that I like about their culture is when you ask someone, they don't make you feel na it's a nonsense question. Parang they make you feel important as if na you don't get held back just because you ask something that they already know,
Yeah.
and they're very considerate about that. So, and then they nurture you to think na parang akala mo pag pandemic na dead end, but it's a nurturing environment so that you can also do something for others. Napaka-contagious niya. This is something that's viral. This is something
Yeah.
contagious na you're stuck at home but you're not stuck with what you need to move forward.
Yeah, because you have others with you. And it's great to know that both of you really appreciate JCI for what it is, being more for others. And recently we have launched Ambagko rehistro.boto. And both of you are very active advocates of this program, of this project, Ambagko. Why are you advocating this, Vonne? Ambagko rehistro.boto.
Well, yun nga po na we're living in the digital age
Yeah.
na well, other than we're living in a country that is expressing freedom of speech, there's nothing wrong with that, but the problem is if you're not being part of the process, if you're not being part of the process, you're part of the problem. So,
Yeah.
okay, reklamo ka about this. Okay, reklamo ka about, bakit ang dumi-dumi ng kalsada? Di ba may mga street sweeper naman tayo? We pay them. Why not? They're not cleaning. So, yes, okay, they have their obligation to do that, but if waiting for change doesn't happen, yun nga po, then make change yourself. If you want to do that, 'di ba? Gawin mo na lang para mas mabilis kasi there are things that we call circumstance. So, if you have a lot of time na magreklamo sa social media, then use that time to make the community or your place or yourself better.
Yeah.
Help yourself na para mag-feel ka naman na parang at least you're contributing. Yun nga po the reason why I opted to really push na para I want to be part of the process. I want to be part of the process. I want to register. I want to vote. Because yun nga po may tinatawag tayo na chain reaction. May
Yeah.
tinatawag tayong compounding effect.
Mhm.
There's always a ripple effect. Regardless or not, one way or another, we affect the lives of those around us through our decisions, to the things that we choose. So, and I'm just reminded na, oh no, my decision to not vote or to vote would be the the would really cost the next 6 years of my country, and not that that's the next 6 years of the lives of my fellow countrymen and my life.
Yeah.
And hindi lang the next generation would suffer kasi 6 years yun eh, tapos
Yeah.
yung whatever mangyari sa country mamanahin yun ng next generation. So
Mhm.
ano ang inaambag ko right now, because I don't know the ripple effect of my decisions nga po. So, I really opted na, okay, no matter what happened, this is non-negotiable.
Mhm.
And I was just surprised with the numbers po na napaka-importante ng contribution. One of the major, ano bang term po dito? Yung parang yung major bulk of the voters would be
Yeah.
millennials and centennials, which is, I'm part of those.
Yes.
So I was surprised yung the other day sa launching nga po na we were talking about the numbers. Oh no, a lot of people haven't been yet registered. So what would happen to the country if we don't act right now? We don't we're just passive observers. We have to be active because it's gonna be our life for the next 6 years. It's gonna be the life of the next generation after us. What are we doing now? So yun nga po na ako na surprised with not just in a national level, but with my peers, workmates and friends. I asked them, register ka na? The common answer is no, and I was asking why.
Yeah.
Why? Well, katamad daw, mga ganyan. No, look at the bigger picture. This is what's gonna happen if you don't do it now, if you don't do something now.
Mhm.
So, yun nga po. I've
Were you
been
able to
active with that
convince?
kasi yun nga, I've realized.
Yeah. So were you able to convince
Yes,
some of
yes.
your
I, I,
friends
I
to
believe
register?
so. I
That's
believe
good.
so.
Very
I
good.
hope so. I believe so. Then,
Yeah.
because they said yes. Because because we're friends. Yun po, yun po.
Yeah, but that's good, knowing that you realize the impact of your contribution, which is your ambag to the future of the country, and your peers or your colleagues is very important, right? What about you, Denise? What are like, why are you so passionate about Ambagko Registro Boto?
For me, it all started with us. My cousin and I were discussing kasi nung pandemic. There are a lot of things that we need. Baka mamaya they look for our ID. So I first checked my IDs. I kompleto naman government IDs ko. But then, parang sabi ko, wala akong voters sa ID because during that time, I think there was something that happened for the biometrics. So it was halted. But I was
Yeah.
able to register first. And then sabi ko, ala, na-expire pala to if hindi mo siya nagagamit. And tapos sabi ko, not just for the sake of ID, but then nung pandemic when we were staying at home, we were always actually even before the pandemic, I would always read the comments because I would want to know how people react. And then
Yeah.
here in our house, we would check, oh, bakit nagrereklamo? Pero hindi naman, ang question is, mas may sumagot na isa. Ang tanong, nagrereklamo ka, bumoto ka ba? So, tapos, we were always thinking na, isang vote lang naman eh. Yung mindset, the thing that I like about Ambagko is, if I can be part of change instead of the problem, why not? Kasi we're always thinking that we're always waiting for life to happen. It's always, pwede namang ibang tao yung gumawa. Hayaan mo na sila because may bumoboto naman eh, di ba? But then the numbers are actually showing. So you cannot manage what you cannot count. And the numbers itself, I'm glad that they have a research on that. So for you to be able to see what's really happening, look at the bigger picture and see the numbers. So doon ako na-alarm na, shucks, hindi pa pala ako part of the solution. I'm a part of the problem. Tapos parang we were saying that it's just one. But
Yeah.
then, if we try to look at the screw, no role is too small for you to contribute. At saka, di ba, we are always saying no one left behind. Kaya if you want to be contributing, then it starts with you. Kasi sabi nga, how you do one thing speaks of how you do other things. Are we complaining or are we solving?
Yeah.
So, ganun palagi dito sa, parang it all starts with your house. You don't really have to look too far to influence others. It all starts with your family members, and I'm glad that they're positive about it. Na kailan tayo lalabas? And I think yung what really encouraged me to do parang registering during this time is of course there are times that I really had to go out because it's essential for me to go
Yeah.
out. And then I just realized na ay walang traffic, walang ano. Tapos parang it's easy to travel. So parang naging advantage pa yung pagre-register
Yeah,
during this time. Kasi before you have to go through lines, but then right now you have to make an appointment, and naging parang mas naging systematic siya in a
true.
way that before you go there, for your own safety, you have to make sure that you have an appointment or something like that. And then I just find it a blessing in disguise that everything can be done at home first
Yeah.
before you go out.
True. Both of you have a common denominator, and that is your purpose to be more for others. And you are doing that through JCI. And of course, you are doing that with your fellow JCI members as well. But individually, what are your aspirations for the country, for yourself, perhaps for your family? Let's start with you, Vaughn. What are your aspirations?
For me, well, medyo corny to. I have listed down the things I wanna accomplish in life. I
Yeah.
wanna achieve yung mga greatest dream ko. It's this gonna be kind of corny for most of everyone who will hear this. I wanna be a great dad. So parang eventually we're gonna die, then let's say na parang nandun na ako sa ano ko, then I'm long gone, but yun nga, in front of everyone, yung my kids would speak, you know what, this guy in our back doon sa lamay ko nga na they, they're gonna say, mag-share sila ng eulogy nila, yung ba yung term, na you know this guy, he wasn't perfect, he was oftenly angry, pinapagalitan kami, pinapalo kami, he was late sa mga plays namin. In fact, sa graduation ko, late siya eh. But you know what? Yung sasabihin nila parang ganun is, but you know what? I will never replace this guy with anyone else. This person is the only person that I will say dad. But yung parang sa akin lang is why it's my dream is who you become is the result of what you do today. Who you become is the result of what you do today.
Yeah.
So before I get there, the way for me to achieve that dream, and one of my many dreams, my desires, is really by equipping myself with the right tools right now, surrounding with myself with the right people, and making the right decisions. I'm reminded of Atomic Habits. I've been reading
I
Atomic
love
Habits
atomic
by James
habits.
Clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes po. And here's what he said. It doesn't have to be to win an election. It doesn't have to be you get all the votes. You just have to get majority votes. So dapat every time I'm making a vote for the person that I want to become, every decision that I make, every action, every thinking, every words that comes to my mind is a vote for the person that I want to become. So kasama rin doon for being a good father, syempre, being a good voter. Kasi I have to be a good example to my kids. Long that I'm gone, what's my legacy to my generation, to my kids, and eventually, ito nga po, there are three ways for you to be immortal in a way, figuratively. One would be plant a tree, kasi yun yung legacy mo, yung the tree would be there long gone yun. So ano na yan, di ba? Second would be write a book. So in the long you're gone is you're inspiring people through your books. Third would be bear a child, have kids. Depending on your relationship with them, they will continue your story through them, and not just through them, to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation. What my parents, our family has instilled to us is the next generation should be better than the ones before. So paganda ng paganda ng paganda and paganda. Ang next generation pagaling ng pagaling, patalino ng patalino, pawise ng pawise. Why? Because they're passing on good principles, good decisions, experiences na do's and don'ts. It's kind of funny in my journey of becoming a good dad, not perfect. No one's gonna be perfect, but a good dad to the next generation. I wrote something. It's a 9-pager. I call
Wow.
that book. It's a draft. I call that family. So parang this is how I would run my family. Lagay ko doon. Okay, every night read books with my kids. Here's the non-negotiable. Once a week we will meet together. We will go to church together. Here's our way of disciplining our child. Eventually, of course, I will when I meet that special someone, syempre pag-uusapan namin to, ano yung dagdag bawas. But right now, I'm preparing myself kasi yun nga, I'm readying whatever it's very, very important po kasi yung foundation eh.
Yeah.
And what's amazing with this, being part of this organization, it has confirmed all the desires of my heart. This has kasi ito rin po yung training ng JCI to the members. Having the right heart, having the right mind, and we were talking about again and again being more for others. Kasi yun nga, life is more than ourselves. It's really, what's the point of living? If you're just living for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to live for others as well. So your life will be meaningful, or yung term nga is buhay na hindi bitin. So going back to aspirations, yan yung isa sa mga siguro personal desire, the desire of my heart. I want to be a good father, and for that to happen now, I have to be making the decisions to go there. If not, yun nga po, mag-quote na naman ako kay John Max. Ito, here's kay John Maxwell, sabi niya,
Yes.
everything rises and falls on leadership. So, being a soon-to-be father, I'm gonna be the leader of my family. So, depending if I'm a weak or unintentional father, the next generation would be suffering because of me. And yun nga, parang right now, Ambagko is an opportunity for me, and it's a vote for me. It's kind of ironic I'm using the word term. It's a vote for the person that I want to become. I
Yeah.
want to be a good father. So what's that? I'm morally doing my obligation to vote for the next generation. Kasi whoever I vote would really affect the next generation, not just the current generation, but the next generation po.
Yeah.
Yun po.
And as young as you are, you have already realized your purpose, and that is to live for others. And wow, the girl that you will marry will be very blessed because you have already
I
intended
want
what you want to become. Okay, that's great. Denise, how about you? What are your aspirations?
Ako po, I'm married already. So I'm already ready, getting ready to start my family. So sabi ko, shucks, magiging nanay ako. I will have a lot of kids. Talagang a lot of kids. But then, paano yung impact ko sa kanila? So they will ask me, ma, nung sumapit ka nung time na bumoto ka, bumoboto ka rin ba? I know they would ask me those things. So how was the experience?
Yeah.
So parang, what will I tell my kids? I will be accountable for the life that I have right now to them. Kasi ikakwento ko sa kanila to, anong
Yeah.
pinagagawa ko before I had them. At saka, personal aspirations ko. So, yun po. I want to be a social entrepreneur. Kasi parang sabi ko, it's a way for me to contribute. I'm developing myself, I'm earning for myself, but I also want to be solving problems. But if I can do more than that, like a notch up a bit, na baka naman meron akong business na pwede kong maitulong sa iba. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I think I already know what it is. At saka naapektuhan kasi ako nung bata ako na nagpo-foster kami
Mhm.
ng mga, kasi yung mga relatives ko were priests and nuns, so they would take in kids sa bahay namin,
Yeah.
mga deaf sila. So,
Mhm.
sanay ako sa culture about giving to others. And then someone asked me, mayaman ba kayo? So sabi ko, yung may instill ko is I want to have a family na hindi sinasabi sa akin na you have to be rich for you to help. Kasi yung culture, it starts at home at saka sa nai-influence mo when you touch other person's life, you radiate what you already have in you at nai-influence mo sila more than what you tell them or impose to other people, but how they experience you. So I would tell them, I grew up in a family na I was never told na mayaman kami, but then you have the time, you have the energy, you have a house, you have a space, you can share that, not just for material things, but especially now that others are looking for someone to listen to them, that's already something that you can give, and that is time. If your time is gold, is so precious, who do you give it to?
Yeah.
And then also yung pong I also want to start my own foundation. I don't know how, but then if my message is amplified through my actions, I think I don't have more words to say, but then makaka-influence ka ng iba because they see it in you. Di ba
True.
nga, action speaks louder than words. So also, if I start my own family, I'm very conscious right now and intentional na my kids will be asking me these things when they grow up. Ma, ano ginawa mo? Sino naging president? And I'm proud to say na, uy, alam mo na, those votes, kasama ako dun.
Yeah.
So,
And you have
yeah.
really taken action to make
Oh,
sure that your dreams will happen, to make sure that your aspirations will happen. You're not waiting for things to happen to you, but you make things happen because you take action. And it starts with a decision that you make. Beautiful. So, in closing, if there's one or two lines that you could say to your fellow youth that would encourage them to be part of the process, to register, and to ultimately vote in the upcoming elections, how would you encourage them? Let's start with you, Denise.
to my fellow youth, we're always waiting for life to happen. There's life ahead of us. But then ask yourself, what is it? What is that one thing that you can do right now? We always say that, oh, we're too young, but then we have the power to make a change. So if that change is like that one vote, what will you do with that one vote? How will you use it? So I'm encouraging you, use that power. Sabi nga yung mga superheroes, iba-iba tayo ng power. But then, if you have that power, how are you going to use it for good?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much, Denise. How about you, Vaughn? What would you say to your fellow youth?
Kalimutan ko kasi kung sino nagsabi nito eh, para ma-credit lang siya. But, yun nga, I've said it kanina, be the change that you want to see in the world. Be the change, create a world that the next generation would live in na, ano, yung hindi naman nila na ano ba tong next previous generation na to. Ginawa nila, yun nila, they were picking up their slack, yung mga ganun. But I just want to zoom in and focus po. Be the change that you want to see in the world. If you have a lot of time to do things na magreklamo and whatnot, just use that time to a more fruitful endeavor like helping other people or contributing to society. If you just convert that time to really make change.
Yeah.
Yun po.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vaughn, and thank you, Denise. I'm truly inspired with your words, with how you see JCI and how you see your life, how you can contribute, and how you try to live for others and be more for others. And anything else that you'd like to say to your fellow youth, Vaughn?
Well, if you're of legal age then and you haven't yet registered, then ano na, mag-register na kayo. This is the first step to making change for our country, contributing to our country. And yun nga, you have power. No? There, I'm reminded of Timothy tuloy na Bible verse sa Timothy na yun nga, don't let anyone say that you're youth. And regardless of your age, you can make change. You can make a positive change to society, to your world by you just have to know kasi kung ano yung ano eh yung mga you just have to access that. So regardless of your age, you can make change. And one of the things, actually this is a right, you have the right to vote if you are of that age. So make that first step in contributing to the country and making this country a better place, not just for yourself or not just for everyone else, but for the next generation by voting for this coming election. So yun nga, mag-register ka muna, then boto. Let's vote for change.
Yeah, thank you. What about
Yun nga po, add ko lang po siguro yun nga po, yun. Before voting, please do your research. Don't just listen to the opinions of other people. Do your personal research, have your background check, and see if the desire or pursuit of this person that you will be voting and you will be recommending would align to the country that you want to see in the next couple of years. Yun nga po, and yun nga, I believe yun nga, one vote is never insignificant because you have the power to influence people. Actually, your words can influence people. Who are you gonna vote? If you say this person, if you have a certain level of influence to that person will definitely copy you rin doon sa ano na yan. So, do your research kasi our words are powerful. We indirectly or directly influence people. So, before we recommend or share opinions, please do your research first. Yan po.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vaughn. What about you, Denise? You have something to add?
I believe this is an exciting part for you to practice adulting 101. So, syempre parang, ay, we want to try things, pero don't just do it just for the sake of trying. Make an informed decision. Kasi di ba sabi nga, success is when preparation meets opportunity. So, when you're prepared to do your part, remember that it will impact you, not just because pagkatapos mong bumoto, it's already done. It will be a lasting decision that
Mhm.
you have to make. So, i-practice mo na yung making big decisions because you know what, you have a big life ahead of you and it will really contribute to how you live in the following days. But just remember na our life don't just depend on other people, but you have a way for you to make a change. Kung magagamit yan para sa pagboto, why don't you use it? And then at the same time, it practices you to do some decisions, not just for now, but marami ka pang decisions na pagdadaanan sa buhay. And this is just one way for you to exercise that.
Very well said. Once again, thank you very much, Vonne Magbanua and Denise Chua. God bless you in your efforts. JCI is more for others.